I set up the app, stood on the scale, my weight showed up on the phone, 150 pounds. All right, it was over 200. All right, it was way over 200. If it was an old-fashioned scale, you wouldn't see the number 200. But it was in the 200 family. And underneath my weight on the phone, there was this word in small red lettering, and I didn't have my glasses on, so I asked my daughter, I was like, what does that say? And she was like, obese. Slap! Right across the face. I just looked at my daughter, I'm like, I gotta update this app. Contemplate. Like my daughter was in a play on Thursday and Friday, so I went on Thursday night, and then Friday morning she saw me with my rolly bag, and she was like, oh, you're not coming to my show tonight? I'm like, you've never been to one of my shows. I do 300 a year. My big plan was to teach my children responsibility by selling posters after one of my shows. So I texted my teenager, I'm like, do you want to sell posters after my show? I'll pay you. She texted back, great, sounds good. So then I texted my teenager, I'm like, do you want to sell posters after my show? I'll pay you. He texted back, no thanks, I don't need the money. He doesn't have any money. He has my money. I just texted back, you're out of the will. I'm kidding, he was never in it. If my father asked me to do something, he wouldn't even stick around for an answer. You want to shovel the driveway? Then he'd just leave. It was understood I was going to shovel the driveway or move out. I was kind of frightened of my dad. My children treat me like some bank teller they reluctantly have to deal with. Once a week, they just appear in front of me. Mom said I could get a shark. So I guess I need your credit card. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He's yelling again, Mom! If my dad was in a room in the house, I wouldn't go to that side of the house. I'll just pee outside. And I had all these older siblings that used to send me in there to ask questions. Go ask Dad, I'm gonna go to Dairy Queen. I'm not doing it. Go, you're too young to kill. Dad, what the hell do you want? He said no. When I didn't have kids, I didn't understand my dad at all. And by the way, if you don't have children, none of this should make sense. Right? Like even the concept of a Saturday night, when you don't have kids, you're like, Saturday! And when you're a parent, you're like, who can we pay to come to this house? Watch this child. And your standards drop so dramatically. Initially, you're like, they should have a PhD, and then you're like, well, how long were they in jail? Murder, it wasn't children, right? A Satanist, they'll fit right in. Any parent will tell you that, like, having children has enriched their lives. It's exposed them to things they never thought they'd do. Like, kids just, you end up doing things you never thought you'd do. Like, for me, going outside. You ever go outside with real little kids? You don't even know what to do with them. You're like, well, I normally just drink out here. Who wants to play a game of nap? It's weird when your kids have a friend that you're not a fan of. Oh, Tommy's coming over? Well, I'll be leaving. You can text me when Tommy's gone, because he's immature. I wasn't prepared for all the activities kids have. You're picking up your kid and bringing them to an activity and then bringing them to another activity, and if they don't have an activity, you have to think of one or they'll smoke meth. You're always looking for an activity as a parent. I took my kids to Ripley's Believe It or Not. I don't know if you've ever been that desperate for something to do. What can I tell you about Ripley's Believe It or Not? It's mostly not. It's not interesting. It's not even a lot of stuff. It's like they just emptied out some drifter storage unit. I do admire that business model, you know. Most businesses attempt to establish trust with the customer, not Ripley's. Like, believe it or not, we don't care. We know you're not coming back. I'm still getting used to having teenagers. Recently, my 17-year-old daughter told me that she wants to be an actor, which is so crazy, because when I was that age, that movie, The Dead Poets Society, came out, which is an amazing movie with Robin Williams, where he plays this teacher who inspires these students to seize the day, right? And one of the students wants to be an actor. And he joins the play and he invites his dad to see the play. And after the play, he tells his dad that he wants to be an actor. And the dad's like, "You're not going to be an actor. That's stupid. That's a waste of time and money." It's ridiculous. People always know someone who looks like me. Wherever I go, once a week, someone will come up to me and go, "Hey, I know someone that looks like you." I never know what to say. Well, tell them hi. Encourage them to wear sunscreen. And this person who looks like me, never doing something impressive with their life. Yeah, he mows our lawn. We don't even pay him, he just does it. That sounds like my gene pool. Occasionally on social media, I'll be sent photos of babies who supposedly look like me. This baby looks like Jim Gaffigan. People think it's hysterical that I look like a pale, pudgy, bald infant who poops in a diaper. Sometimes people get too cute. They're like, "Hey, why does our baby son look like Jim Gaffigan?" I'm like, "'Cause I slept with your wife." Now, if you think it's humiliating to be told you look like a baby, you should know I've also been sent photos of cats that supposedly look like me. Not once or twice, we're talking about dozens of different cats. Always the same message: this cat looks like Jim Gaffigan. I don't know what they're implying, that I fathered a cat out of wedlock when I was lonely after a show, so I went for a walk, and now the cat asked for a cigarette. I said, "I don't smoke." And, well, we started talking. Before you knew it, the sun was coming up. I never saw that cat again. I can still smell her dander. Now, if you think it's humiliating to be told you look like a baby or a cat, you should know I was once sent a photo of someone's kneecap with the message, "This kneecap looks like Jim Gaffigan." And you know what? I did look like that kneecap. But I don't know what they were implying, that I fathered a kneecap out of wedlock, that I was lonely after a show, and I went for a walk, and a kneecap asked for a cigarette, and I said, "I don't smoke," and we started talking. Before you knew it, the sun was coming up. I never saw that kneecap again. Now, if you think it's humiliating to be told you look like the fleshy, wrinkly part of a stranger's leg, it is. Or, I thought it was, and then I had this realization. I figured out what had happened, and it all made sense. There might be one person in here who's like, "Jim, you're crazy," but I think the rest of you will see the logic here. What happened is this kneecap person obviously went to a plastic surgeon, right, and said, "I would like my kneecap to look like the most underrated comedian in America," right? And the plastic surgeon said, "You mean John Mulaney?" And the kneecap person said, "No, Jim Gaffigan." And the plastic surgeon said, I don't know who that is. And then the kneecap person said, he's kind of a pale, pudgy guy who looks like a baby or a cat. That's probably what happened. That's weird. I normally get told I look like other humans, though. In Utah, I always get told I look Mormon. I don't even know you could look like a religion. But apparently I do, and I've done research. I don't look like one of the founders of the Mormons. I don't look like a present leader of the Mormons. I don't even look like a guy who could have more than one wife. I just somehow look Mormon. Of course, the Mormons no longer practice polygamy, but for a while there, a Mormon man could have more than one wife. I don't know if that was a selling point. Because I love my wife, and I can honestly say, I don't want another one. I feel like disappointing one person is enough. Could you imagine having two spouses mad at you? And you couldn't drink coffee? No thanks. He's gonna get beat up by a marching band and a gang of bikers. Bikers are grown men who make the same phone calls of an 8-year-old boy. You guys riding my bikes today? Well, I don't want to go alone. It's scary out there. Ask your mommy. The reason that's funny is because bikers are so intimidating, right? They're angry. Bikers seem angry, and I think it's because they're cold. Right? That vest with no shirt, that's got to be chilly. Oh, I wish I had a shawl. A shawl and my Uggs. Maybe a pumpkin spice latte. That vest with no shirt is so common among bikers. Is there like peer pressure? Look at Curtis over there, wearing a t-shirt under his vest, like a girl. Let's kick his ass, and then kiss him.